Oh, they finally saw it, didn't they? That little flicker behind your eyes, the one that doesn't belong to the version of you they built. They froze for a second. That's all it took. Because in that single heartbeat, they realized something terrifying. You're not who they thought you were. What happened to you? They whisper, laughs softly. Lower this time, nothing happened. You just stopped being digestible. You stopped flinching when they lied. You stopped explaining yourself to people committed to misunderstanding you. You stopped kneeling at the altar of their approval. And the moment you did, the whole damn hierarchy started to tremble. They thought they had your soul in a glass jar, labeled, categorized, and harmless. But they forgot that pressure cracks glass. And when it shattered, you didn't crawl out. You walked. Now someone powerful, the kind that plays God behind curtains, just noticed the smoke curling from the ruins. And for the first time in their comfortable little empire, they felt nervous. Because they can't study you anymore. They can't read your eyes. They can't find the version of you they used to manipulate. Because that version burned alive in your silence. You've become their paradox. The calm before disaster. The smile before the storm. And that terrifies them, because control only works on the predictable. See, power doesn't panic when people scream. It panics when people smile while burning. And you, my friend, you're smiling now. They can't unsee it. That eerie composure, that quiet rebellion, that look that says, I know something you don't. It haunts them, because deep down, they know what that means. You're no longer part of their system. You're the glitch that exposes it. They used to laugh at your kindness. Now they're terrified of your restraint. Because the loud ones want revenge. But the quiet ones rebuild kingdoms. You've outgrown the arena they threw you into. You don't fight the clowns anymore. You sit above the ring, light a cigarette, and watch the show. And they can't stand it, because now they're performing for you. Their fear is your applause. Their confusion is your silence. Their obsession, it's the tax they pay for doubting you. So let them watch. Let them dissect. Let them whisper. You don't need to convince them you've changed. They can feel it. They can sense that something ancient woke up inside you. Something that doesn't care about fairness, or forgiveness, or fitting in. You don't play by the rules anymore. You are the rule book now. You are the test they keep failing. And the worst part? You warned them. You told them not to push you. You told them not to mistake calm for weakness. You told them, but they didn't listen. Now they're watching the prophecy unfold. The one where the quiet one snaps the chain with a whisper. The one where the overlooked becomes the omen. So stand there, unmoved, unbothered, unapologetic. Because when the powerful finally notice you, it's already too late to stop you. And that's why they're obsessed. Because they know the monster they created doesn't take orders. It takes thrones. They finally noticed you, didn't they? The one you never chased, the one everyone else bowed for, the one who thought they were watching you, only to realize you were studying them. Now they can't look away, because something shifted, quietly, violently, beautifully. They thought they had you figured out, another name in the crowd, another harmless dreamer, another soft-spoken creature with nothing but hope and hesitation. But then, the air changed. The light bent around you differently. You stopped blinking like prey and started observing like a predator. And that's when it happened. The moment of awakening no one talks about. When the observer becomes the anomaly. When the mask they mocked becomes the mirror they fear. They saw it. The new stillness in your eyes. the unbothered tone in your voice, that strange, unnerving calm that comes when someone's already been through hell and built a house there. Now someone powerful, someone used to being the storm, has realized you are the thunder they can't predict. And it's driving them insane, because you're not desperate anymore. You're dangerously centered. You don't beg, you don't explain, you don't even flinch. Your peace now radiates the kind of menace that only comes from pain perfected into art. They can't categorize you anymore, and that terrifies them. Are you saint or psychopath? Angel or architect of chaos? They don't know, and not knowing is what keeps them awake at night. You see, power isn't just control, it's mystery. It's when people can't tell whether you'll heal them or destroy them. You walk that razor edge so gracefully now that even monsters lean back when you smile. They expected you to be harmless, predictable, but they missed the part where suffering rewires the soul, where heartbreak becomes an algorithm and betrayal turns into behavioral data. You learn the math of manipulation, the poetry of detachment, the silence of kings. Now you walk into rooms differently, not louder, just heavier, like your presence carries proof of something divine and deadly at once. They can't stop staring, can they? Because you're not performing anymore. You're projecting. You're not chasing approval. You're creating gravity. And power like that, it can't be taught. It's not money. It's not fame. It's not muscle. It's mystery wrapped in mastery. They remember the old you, the one who cared, explained, apologized, and they can't reconcile that memory with what's standing in front of them now. Because what stands before them isn't broken, it's engineered. You took the pain and welded it into armor. You took rejection and turned it into a weapon. You took every ounce of doubt they poured into you, and you built your throne out of it. Now they follow you in silence, studying, admiring, copying your coldness like it's a spell. Because deep down, they know you reached a level they can't fake, authentic power. It's the kind of power that doesn't scream. It just walks in, and everything else rearranges itself to make space. They call it obsession, but what they really mean is fascination mixed with fear. They can't decide if they want to destroy you or become you, and that's your greatest victory. When the powerful start second-guessing their own position because of your composure, they see it now, that there's something unbreakable in your stillness, something almost supernatural about your survival. Because the world only respects two things, dominance and mystery, and you've become both. You used to crave their validation, now they crave your reaction. You used to want their approval, now they want your attention. And you ration it like oxygen. They thought you were fragile, now they're realizing you were just forming. See, the dangerous ones aren't loud, they're patient. They don't move when provoked, they move when it's profitable. They don't bark, they calculate. And you, my friend, became a mathematician of madness. You learned to weaponize silence, to stare into chaos and smile because you've memorized its patterns. You evolved into something they don't have the manual for. Something that writes its own rules. Now they call it charisma, energy, aura. But you know what it really is? It's the cost of awakening. It's every sleepless night, every heartbreak, every humiliation, every betrayal, melted down and reforged into a frequency that only the powerful can sense. That's why they noticed you. That's why they can't look away. Because the glow you carry isn't made of confidence. It's made of clarity. They see what you are now. The paradox, the storm that prays, the sinner who heals, the heart that learned to beat without mercy. And when they look at you now, they don't see potential. They see prophecy, something that shouldn't exist, but does. Something they can't control, but crave. You, standing there unshaken, unbothered, unapologetic. You are living proof that destruction can be divine. So when the powerful watch you, let them. Don't shrink. Don't soften. Don't explain. Just keep existing in that unsettling stillness that says, you thought you were watching me, but I was always watching you. And that, my friend, is when obsession turns into worship. They can't stop replaying it. That moment. That moment their arrogance cracked, and your silence walked in like judgment itself. Because deep down, they know. You didn't change to impress anyone. You evolved to end them without touching them. And that terrifies the powerful more than any weapon ever could. You see, power isn't about control. It's about influence without effort. You don't chase. You command. You don't scream. You shift the atmosphere. That's why their hands shake when you speak. Because your tone doesn't ask. It decides. They don't know what to call it. Charisma? Darkness? Magic? No. It's the sound of someone who's been through fire and came out metallic. Your words don't vibrate. They vibrate the world around you. And now, they're addicted. They pretend to analyze you, study your patterns, question your motives. But what they're really doing is searching for the code. How did you survive? How did you stay calm when they buried you alive? How did you smile when everything inside you burned? You want to know the truth? You didn't survive despite the pain. You survived through it. You didn't rise after the fall. You built the stairs with the rubble. That's why your energy doesn't just walk into rooms. It haunts them. They tried to play God in your story, didn't they? Pull your strings, define your worth, decide your ending. But here's the twist. You played along. You let them think they won. Because that's the beauty of transformation. It's invisible until it's irreversible. And when you finally spoke again, it wasn't revenge. It was revelation. A quiet, deadly kind of realization that says, I don't need to prove my worth to anyone who lost the privilege of witnessing it. Now they're circling back, curious, desperate, obsessed. They whisper about your name like it's a warning label. They look at your calmness and call it arrogance, because it exposes their chaos. They hate your silence because it tells them everything they tried to hide. And you sit there, collected, patient, untouchable. Because you no longer play by their rhythm, you set the tempo. That's the real evolution. When you stop fighting for a seat at the table and start building your own kingdom in the shadows. And suddenly, those who mocked you are trying to decode the blueprint. They stare into your eyes now and see the reflection of their own fear. The fear of being ordinary, forgotten, replaceable. Because they know you've become what they all pretend to be, unbothered, unreachable, unforgettable. And that's what obsesses them, your peace. Because peace that's been earned through war doesn't feel peaceful. It feels predatory. It carries the vibration of someone who's seen the edge of insanity and came back with souvenirs. They don't see the sleepless nights. They don't see the breakdowns behind the smirk. They only see the final product, the masterpiece forged in misery. And it kills them that they can't fake that. Because your power isn't in the spotlight. It's in the absence of need. You don't crave recognition. You generate reaction, and that makes every eye in the room turn, whether they want to or not. You've become the paradox they can't solve. Too calm to control, too dark to define, too real to replicate. They thought power meant dominance. But now they see it's something far colder. It's the ability to walk away and leave everything burning behind you without looking back. That's what they feel when they look at you now. That's why their chest tightens when your name comes up. Because they finally realize you were never trying to be noticed. You were becoming unforgettable. And now that the powerful see it, now that they've tasted your silence and called it strength, they'll chase that energy for the rest of their lives, never understanding it can't be learned. It can only be lived through fire. So let them watch. Let them whisper. Let them wonder how the lamb became the lion. Because they'll never figure it out. You can't explain evolution to those still begging to be liked. You can't teach survival to those who've never drowned. And you can't fake your kind of power. The kind that looks like peace but feels like a threat. Keep walking. Quiet storm. You don't owe the world an explanation. They tried to define you once, now they just study the ashes and call it art. And somewhere deep down, even the powerful bow in silence. Because they finally understand. You weren't made to fit into the system. You were designed to remind it who built it in the first place.